This is my favorite lens for the Fujifilm X-E5 and probably my favorite lens across the entire Fujifilm ecosystem. It is the Voigtlander 18mm 2.8 color scope R. This is the lens that has the most photos that I've taken with this camera. I've used it for travel, for documenting my family, even just carrying around with me every single day. But before we get into it, I did want to thank today's video sponsors, Squarespace. I've been using Squarespace for over 10 years now. Their templates and their easy to use interface make it incredibly simple to create and maintain a professional looking website without any coding experience necessary. My Squarespace website was an essential part of how I built my photography business. It allowed me to showcase my portfolio, share recent work on my blog, and also receive inquiries from potential clients through my contact form. If you're one of those photographers relying on your Instagram profile as a sole place to share your work and build your photography business, I would really consider making a website on Squarespace. You can visit squarespace.com/RegBallesteros to start a free trial and get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. On crop sensor, 18mm is a 28mm full frame equivalent. And for me, that's actually my favorite focal length. It's the focal length I always gravitate to when it comes to storytelling. It's kind of how I see the world. I don't really see it in 35. I prefer 28 because it lets me have a little bit of more a creative skew with the tiny bit of distortion that it brings. So this works very well for travel, for everyday documentation, for photos of my family, even a little bit of like city stuff, architecture stuff, or street photography. I'm not a street photographer, but a lot of street photographers, this is a popular focal length. This focal length gives a little bit of wider perspective without too much distortion. And it allows you to flex your creative muscle to be adding a little bit of context to the image. You can layer subjects. You can frame with foreground elements. You can make things closer to the camera appear very big or things behind the camera a lot smaller. When paired with the Fujifilm X-E5, I feel like the size and the balance just, overall feels very intentional. It feels like it was designed for this camera. You still have the rangefinder feel. You have a vintage look to the lens with all the markings, with the focus tab. I'm right here with the aperture ring. You got all these cool things. It just fits this camera so well. I think arguably it looks better to me than the clean looking lens of the X100VI. Comes in silver. I wanted I have a thing for all my camera systems to hopefully come in silver. That's just what I've been gravitating toward in this season of life. When it comes to Fujifilm, I got this system specifically because it's compact, right? And it allows me to go back to my roots of, going to a compact system because the 18mm 1.4 was just getting way too big for an everyday type of use case. So let's talk a little bit about the build quality and the handling of this lens. And I think for me, it's way better than the Fujifilm offerings. I think because, Voigtlander used to be aimed toward the Leica market, they're very well built and they look very good. As far as materials go, it's a all metal construction. As far as I believe, the dampening of the focusing is very nice. It feels a lot better than the focus by wire of the Fujifilm systems and even like the ones with the clutch autofocus mechanism. This feels a lot better. The throw is very smooth. If you have your hand right here, you can go all the way through just with one finger. It takes a little bit of practice to learn how to do that though. They do have a metal lens hood that you can get, but I've been running it without a hood. They also have a square hood version that you can buy from Square Hood that looks very nice too. And the retro aesthetics, just again, it matches the Fujifilm body perfectly. And I think if you're somebody that likes the tactile feel of Fujifilm, this just fits right at home with it and it allows you to be really engaged in the photography process of intentionally choosing your settings, intentionally choosing the focus, making you work for the photo a little bit more. When it comes to this lens, there's no autofocus, right? It's just manual focus, and that's the point of me buying this lens, just because it has the best manual focus experience in Fujifilm. It's easy to find the focus tab. You can do one finger operation. Because it is chip connection, it allows you to have all the information. So you can see it knows all the EXIF data. You can enable it so that it can go into focus peaking. And then also when you stop down, you're going to see a little bit more of an updated focus distance right here. You can see the focus bar increase as you stop down the lens. So you have a preview of the focusing right here, which is really, really good when you're learning how to zone focus. And because it's shipped, you have X-E5, you have flash compatibility with TTL. It's an engaging experience, and it's only going to be slow if you're not practiced. So it encourages you to learn a little bit more about manual focusing and brush up your skills on that. In my previous video that I talked about Voigtlander lenses, I did say that it's not as sharp as the 18mm 1.4. I want to clarify that that's specifically just at wide open. When it's wide open, you have a little bit of softness. You have more of what's called like the classical rendering of more of the older lenses. It has a little bit of bloom to it, just a little bit of fade, and just a lot more character to the look. And when I say character, I mean it's just not optically perfect. It has a little bit of imperfections that makes you feel like there's a little bit of personality to the look. And this is most notable at the close focus of the lens. And then when you stop down, it's very sharp. The contrast holds up, corner to corner. It's a very sharp lens. If you're at f4, 5.6, f8, looks amazing, and it renders very well for these higher megapixel bodies, like this 40 megapixel body. Perfect. So it kind of has like a dual nature in how it works. You're going between like character and clarity, and I think because it also has close focus, that is where this lens is just perfect for me. You watch any of my lens reviews, I always talk about close focus, and this focus is closer than the 18mm f2, and it's smaller than it, so that's like a double benefit for me. And it's good because you can go between details of the scenario that you're in and still also get environmental portraits and larger architecture shots. So it's a good storytelling lens if you know how to use it. So when it comes down to if you want this lens, you need to think about really one thing. Do you want autofocus or do you want manual focus? Because if you want kind of like speed, right? If you don't have skills with manual focus, if you want speed, you want tracking, you're going to do a lot of video where you're going to film yourself. That's where you want to go to the native Fuji lenses. Probably for just autofocus for stills, you can get away with the 18f2. But if you need autofocus for video or like the fastest autofocus on Fujifilm, you need to go to the 18mm 1.4. But if you're more about taking it slow, you're okay taking it slow, or you're okay taking the slow process of learning manual focus. If you want the most compact lens and the most stylish lens, if you have a silver body and you want to choose more of like the experience and not really have it has great performance, but not the best performance in terms of modern technology, then this lens is absolutely my recommendation. You do have to think about a few trade-offs though. So first, it's more expensive even though it's manual focus. Like I think it's more expensive than the 18f2 if you buy it new. So that's something to consider. So it's not a budget-friendly lens. And also it's not weather sealed. So if you need weather sealing, the 18mm 1.4 is the only thing that you should be looking at. That's fine for me. I even shot it in the rain and the snow, but for others, it might matter to others. So I just want to put it out there so I don't leave, something unturned. And then it doesn't have autofocus, right? You have to think about this. Is that a deal breaker for you? Sometimes for others, it is the main appeal to have the best manual focus experience on the Fujifilm X-Mount system. That's how it was for me. So who is this lens for? It is not for budget first shooters. I'm just going to put it out there. It's not. You can find it used, but again, it's not a budget lens. And it's also not for autofocus dependent shooters, right? Or also if you're trying to chase specs, get the best resolution and all this, whatnot, the fastest AF technology, this is not for you. But if you're someone who does street photography, travel, or everyday documentation, if you want to get back to feeling like you have to work for photos because digital has made it so easy, or if you're someone who's an X106 fan that wants a different focal length, a wider focal length, people will say like, oh, you could just get the wide conversion lens. Like, no. When you put the wide conversion lens on, it makes it unbalanced and it's just a lot larger. So I prefer the X-E5 with this lens versus the wide conversion lens any day. I had that before. I know it's a good solution, but I prefer this much better. My final thoughts on this lens is that I love it. Like, it lives on my camera. When you look at the EXIF data of all the photos that I've taken with the X-E5, I've shot with this lens way more than any others. And I think that's more of, I bring it with me every day, but even when I do bring it with other lenses, it's just more convenient and I just like to use it better. I don't know. I think the results just speak for themselves, and it can make it become an always with you camera that can compete with something like a Ricoh GR or an X100VI. It's not perfect on paper when it comes to the specs, but for me, it's perfect for the reason why I bought it, to be the 28mm X100VI that I really love. Some of the photos that I showed in this video are of my new work in progress recipe. So if you want to learn more about that, subscribe so that you don't miss when that recipe comes out. And a lot of the other photos are going to be with my Reggie's portrait film simulation recipe, which is super popular. Check it out in this video if you want to see how I set it up and all that jazz. All right, thanks.